The water was cold, dark, and it stank. She had no idea how she had ended up here, why she was in the river. She'd been in a bar, hadn't she? Yes, she'd been in the pub with her friends. So why was she holding on to the riverboat pier in the middle of the fucking Thames? Panic started to set in, and her breath started to become fast and shallow. She was going to drown, she'd be fished out of the river by the police, but only once she'd been left there to swell, discolor, and be eaten by fish. Oh God, she was going to die. She opened her mouth to scream, but a wave pushed a roll of river water into it instead. She gagged on the brown, polluted liquid and spat it back out. If she didn't drown, she would end up with E. coli instead. Another wave threatened to knock her loose from the pier she was holding onto, and this broke through the panic. Fixing her eyes on the structure that was keeping her afloat, she reached up with her other hand and managed to grab on. Now she had both hands on something solid, she felt her panic start to fade. She kicked her feet and swore as one of them struck the pier supports under the water. She felt a momentary burst of warmth as the impact split her skin and blood flowed into the river. Gritting her teeth, she shifted her legs until she managed to get some sort of foothold, increasing her stability. Now that she felt a little more secure, she looked around. Other than in the water, where was she? She looked ahead and saw the riverside, the pub she'd been drinking at. She must have come outside for some fresh air, and, fallen in the river. Jumped in. On her left, she could see Vauxhall Bridge, buses and taxis moving across it. To her left were the chimneys and lights of Battersea Power Station, she could hear some of the revelry drifting along the river. As she started to feel her fear properly subside, she was hit by another wave that shook her body. She was freezing. She remembered that's how most people died in the Thames. They didn't drown, it was hypothermia that killed them. She hadn't gone out dressed for warmth, it was Friday night. She had to get out of the water. Her first shout was consumed by the shivering that racked her body, it ended up as nothing more than a series of croaks and hiccups. Steadying herself, she focused on calming her body. She made sure her head was far enough above the water to avoid another mouthful of God knows what, took a shuddering breath, and yelled, "Help me! Help!" Nothing. She felt tears prick her eyes, the warm saltiness a sharp contrast to the freezing, filthy water she was trapped in. "Stop it," she muttered to herself through chattering teeth, "stop it." Drawing herself up again, she screamed one more time, "Help!" Still, there was no response from the riverside. She looked over at the bridge, but there were no pedestrians walking across it. The tears started falling again, and this time she could not stop them. This was it, she was going to either freeze to death.